No hesitation, all in.
No
Fucking
hesitation.
ready
no
for
waiting.
the final battle.
The final battle, final session.
Whew!
And as we left off, Illyria,
Yeah.
the last words given to you, give us that monologue of yours.
Illyria stands on the stage, pausing for a second. She begins to feel something bubbling up inside of her. Yeah, no, it's time to draw it all together. Every last little bit of evidence, everything she's learned within this dream, it's time to drive a stake through all of it. It's time to make it mean something. She, opens her lips, and her voice pauses for a second in her throat. Wait a second. No. She stops and actually turns around. We're about to make the same damn mistake we've made the entire time. Like everything up to this point. Monologues. I'll solve this. I'll do that. I'll be the one to cure the disease. Everything was just a solo action driven forward by one person's pride. She stomps her foot. So, we do this right. Anything, honestly, it's like any operation. There's more than one person involved from the very beginning. Doctor can't operate alone. That requires a patient, too. So, if we're gonna do this, let's do it together. Each of us takes the part, she says, looking at Zenith.
A duet, then. Well, he leans in very close. I did say this was our day.
Bravo.
But
Okay.
I think it's only appropriate, though, as our protagonist, you lead the charge.
Yeah, no, I can talk us into this entire mess. So, our story. This story begins actually well over 100 years ago. In a district enraptured by fog, a disease was carried down the river into our wonderful noble district. The place, this sort of catacomb of high walls, was constructed to keep the poor out, but ultimately it became a prison for the people living within. And in that district lived a doctor. She points at the audience.
The doctor sits there in the audience, kind of lidless gaze pointed at you as a stage. No one there seems to really acknowledge that they are a part of this, yet they are there. They're just plotting a show. A very meta show.
He made a promise that he would be the one to drive back this disease and save everyone contained within that district. 5 nights of absolute hell passed by. Absolutely no cure was in sight, and the majority of the district met their end. But that's not the interesting part of this story. The interesting part begins with the very first day. It begins with the lives of every single person who lived within the district. And, of course, how they dealt with the disease. She motions back to Zenith behind her and takes a step aside.
Yes. The first day, well, most people couldn't fully believe it. How could something so dreadful happen to such good people? Must have been the poor that caused it. Never matter, though. Give it time, it'll pass on by. Of course, when money didn't work, when pride was pointless, oh dear, things got rather dire rather quickly, as you've seen. But of course, as the days progressed, he leans in very close, it actually started to bring them together. Through pain came love, an understanding for one another. Finally, they had something to connect on more than title, history, and money. They now understood pain. And something so dreadful they had never considered. They had taken so much that something could be taken from them. Life. So they began to cherish it in the limited time, but of course, our dear doctor failed. And most amusingly, he did attempt to get some aid, and looks at Orchestra, but she was of no help. And so, day 6 comes, along with failure.
Illyria lets out a huff, actual incense and smoke flying free from her mask. So, is that what this story is about? Is that truly the end? The doctor makes a promise and fails. The person that he cared about most is taken from him, and his spirit is crushed. Illyria thinks back. She thinks back to losing Teach just what felt like hours ago. She remembers that sensation welling in her chest. She drives her foot down again, sending a clack through the theater. I disagree. At the very start of this, you said that this story was a tragedy. Well, I don't think it is. I think this is the story of a tragedy, but the genre itself is not one that ends necessarily in failure. To bring it back to what I was talking about earlier, she waves a hand. You're not the villain of this story, Zenith.
Really?
Okay, so I'm gonna interrupt you right now.
Yeah.
Because you just done something. There are 2 health bars in this fight.
Okay.
One of which belongs to Delusion. The other one belongs to Zenith. By doing actions in here, you may damage both, neither, or one or the other.
Ooh, okay.
Zenith's bar represents a discussion, and you have made an attack against him in this way. Even
Okay.
though it was not an attack, it was.
No.
The Delusion, however, you have strengthened by validifying it. So, depleting one health bar before the other will have different effects.
Interesting, okay.
I'm going to roll for how much you, roll against Zenith here, and let's see, Zenith, why don't you, roll the die for me?
Sure.
13! Please!
Oh.
13! Oh, boy.
So
I bet Zenith
Zenith,
gets bonuses. Yeah.
yeah, but Zenith is also wounded. He loses that blue. He has a red and a yellow, but he does have a bonus. And that brings it, regardless of what he locks in, he gets up to 13.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
right.
Zenith does not take any damage.
That makes sense.
Delusion will gain about 1 HP back since you just, validified what it was.
Yeah.
Not the villain of this story? Oh, you're a bleeding heart through and through, Illyria. And maybe that's one of the reasons I like you, delusional hope. How can you possibly examine me and not see me as the villain? Have you not been paying attention? How much I destroy, how much I take! Non-stop, I have berated you, insulted you, destroyed things that you cherish, and points at Orchestra and just the general audience. Did I need to be so cruel? I personally think so.
She shakes her head. Actually, these acts of wanton cruelty aren't those of a villain, in fact. She holds up her hand. It's closer to an act of nature. I spent so long trying to just discern your role within this story, trying to understand how the doctor saw you, and trying to understand how your mask as a villain even began to work. And yeah, a lot of those actions were cruel. And yeah, a lot of those actions were meaningless. But do you know what makes a villain? Comprehension. From the very beginning, you should be able to empathize with the villain, know where they're coming from, and why they perform the acts they do. Does a disease do that? No! She slams the fucking board behind her.
Also, I realized something. I'm
Yeah.
going to take that and bring that forward from that reply. But
Yeah.
I forgot. You have bond bonuses. You gained an
Yeah.
extra +3 to that since you were going against Zenith.
Yeah.
So that actually would have succeeded on that one.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. And would you like to recall Heather's purpose, your bond, to get a damage bonus to that?
Not yet.
Alrighty, sounds good. In that case, Zenith, you take... Oh, man. You take 1 damage.
Ew! He gets very close to Illyria. You're forgetting one important aspect about me, though. It is indeed true that there is the role of a story where it is man versus nature. It's one of the possibilities for an antagonist. And you described this disease as one that has no personality. I would beg to differ. And I think most of our audience, I see you, orchestra, would disagree. I am bursting with personality. I am making decisions. I am choosing who is infected. I have even chosen when the punishments are too severe or when they need to be worse. Since when does a disease decide that?
She nods along. I actually agree with that point.
Ha!
In fact, I think out of everyone here, you have had the clearest ego out of everyone involved. I've met a lot of people, and I've heard their stories, but it took really getting to know them, like knowing where they came from, knowing why they're here, to understand how they worked. But frankly, from the very start, I have understood in broad strokes what your actions are, which is why the contradictions stand out all that much more. She picks at the chin of her mask. A lot of the actions you took, a lot of what you did didn't need to happen. A disease is cold and uncaring to a certain degree, but you put in the effort to reach out, to, make me sweat more often, but to make me smile sometimes. Now, you might think that actually characterizes you as something separate. Yeah, it makes you the villain of this story. It makes you something different than some force of nature. But, well, she exhales. Just because you have done a lot of bad does not necessarily put you on the villain's pedestal. That does not necessarily need to be your role. I want to ask you a question. You said you decided who got infected, right? How many did you willingly choose? Top to bottom, a list of everyone here. Who did you willingly infect?
Zenith leans back. I chose who was necessary, that would hurt you the most at the time. Just look at Teach. Made her numero uno. That stung quite a bit.
Okay. Illyria grits her teeth. And now, the follow-up question. Out of all of them, who did you decide to kill?
It is necessary to consider where we're at in the plot. I didn't choose to kill Teach right away, because that would have ruined your call to adventure. I got real close with Beatrice, but you snatched her right out of my hands. Good job, hero. And he just pokes you in the chest. And I would have gotten Horace too, but we both know at this point.
She shakes her head slightly. Yeah, so I want to know, everyone else, outside of those few, were you the one who pulled the trigger on them? Were you the one who decided that the disease got worse? and took them. Were you the one who moved them to the backstage?
When their time was up, yes.
Illyria is going to roll to die versus that.
Right, actually,
No.
as one thing happens, currently you feel the light cast upon you, this red gaze,
Ooh,
both from
okay.
his many eyes and the wings himself. You automatically clash with an attribute that is red, which could be red or your healing, since healing is orange and counts as red or yellow.
Yes. She's gotta roll to die first, and she's got nothing.
Gotcha.
This is a 14. That's pretty good.
All right, and as I was saying, you have to pick an attribute that has a red.
I have to. Oh God, the two
You're
bad
in the
ones.
spotlight. You gotta follow the light. Gotta follow the stage directions.
Okay, let's pick. No, let's pick instinct. Okay, so yeah, I am now red, and I'm stuck with that. Does Zenith get to roll to do versus me, or do I clash immediately?
You clash immediately.
Oh boy, with my shitty dice.
It's 11 actually,
Okay.
And you- and it's actually a 14.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I just do swing.
Yes.
Okay. And my swing right now is
With red. Oh jeez.
Oh yeah, that's a 6.
It's a 6, and then add your modifier to that, which is I'll post what your modifier is. Hang on, at you.
Yeah. Okay. So it would be this then.
I see. Ow! So that's 12 damage.
That's 10 damage.
Okay. Okay, 10 HP instantly. She gets struck through by those words.
I merely light the fuse. The length at which it is, that's a variable based on what's necessary for the story. But yes, I collect the bodies when they're no longer in the script.
And who decided? She's trying to collect herself, her entire head swimming. And who decided to make that your role? Because you said it earlier, you have a lot of personality. You pick, you choose, you decide. You act as the Reaper. Normal disease does not do that. How did you wind up that way?
Because it was a role thrust upon me, one I was literally born for, the role of a lifetime. I have to do this, because there are things in this world far scarier than me, and I need strength to survive it.
But who put you in that role? Point to them.
The light seems to fade from red.
He kind of leans back.
You already know the answer.
I want you to say it.
The Doctor. Nadir.
Illyria looks over at the doctor. Christian, would it be possible to summon the doctor to the stage?
What are you up to?
That would be possible, yes.
Illyria wheels her hand around and points at Nadir as well. Well, in that case, I think we have another actor. Another one relevant to this play. Dr. Nadir, get up here. You have a role to play as well.
I had assumed this would be a duet.
She looks back. She looks back at you, Zenith. In many ways, it still is.
With that, very briefly, the stage lights go off, and after a moment once again passes, you find yourself. The lights then kind of start shifting, turning, and then the doctor takes the stage along with you. Let me just get that actually represented there for a second. There we go. Just move that down. Gotta move shit.
No, it's fine.
Stage is returned. As the doctor has appeared upon it as well. He stops, turns, looks around, and then gazes at the two next to him, and blinks a bit, and is like, "You again?"
Illyria nods. Now, I'm sorry to call you for this up to the stage when you were so politely watching, but I need to hear something from you, too.
He stops. You notice that he was more directing Zenith when he said that, but he turns to you as well. Of course, yes.
I need you to tell us why we're here. She motions to herself and Zenith.
I don't...
Zenith puts a hand in front of the doctor and leans into Illyria.
You could ruin everything. You realize that? You could kill us all.
She puts a hand up and nods along. For the sake of the fiction, I won't press too hard, but I need to hear it from him.
Alright. He stops, and he looks. You kind of seeing around the stage, yet compelled to answer. His mind seems locked in some way. His gaze seems empty. It's such a strange experience. He is a human puppet, no strings attached, yet still he acts like a fake. But as he speaks, you get the feeling that there's a real human in there as he talks. I am here to do medicine. And you are here as, well, the ticking clock. Those outsiders who would attempt to, well, those who would try to defame me, the city, and hold us bound for your experiments and research. Meanwhile, he turns and looks at Zenith. He is a plague. He is that which crawls beneath the floorboards and spreads all around us. You are disease. As he speaks, a vitriol seems to pool out from his mouth. And with that, I'm gonna roll. That's not actually. I had a bonus there. Zenith, roll a die.
Alrighty. But I don't have blue, so.
Yes. Oh, so what are you gonna lock in? Make a choice.
He'll do red.
Okay. You knock into red then. And he locks into something as well. And those words cut. You are described by your very maker. And due to that, you take 6 damage.
That's
And
right.
Similarly,
Hate me like everyone else.
Illyria.
The delusion also takes some damage.
Illyria takes a step forward. And I'm the one who comes in at the end of this. With some miracle cure and ends it, right?
He stops a bit. No. I will find the cure beforehand. There's moving in and doing research. We can save more. We don't have to wait for the testudo to arrive. All of the other doctors they just want to sit inside of the university and other institutions and wait. Let the outsiders take care of their problems. Let the people die on the inside. But I cannot live like that. I cannot sit idly by while they die. Just for assurance's sake.
Illyria looks up at Zenith. Well, it sounds like you're the end he's fighting consistently, and I'm the other end. Inevitability, what he's struggling against. For his play, we're both villains. She looks back at him. Now... Oh boy. She musters up all her courage. When you were talking about the plague earlier, I sensed so much hatred in your voice. I don't think it is the same type of hatred that a doctor feels for any disease. Explain to me what this plague did to you.
He stops. A plague is a plague, and I am a doctor. Claiming that I should feel no hatred towards my enemy, that which takes lives and steals from us all, and which breaks families apart, those are the words that come from a disconnected doctor. Someone who cares more about body bags and numbers than they do actually helping people.
But why did it take this form? You should be equivalently mad at any sickness. As you said, any good doctor would be. Why this one?
It's a strange plague. It has no... I don't know how it works. It spreads. It could be anything. This is not so unbelievable when you are facing everything.
Are you just mad because it confuses you? She stands up to her full height. We deal with mysterious illnesses all the time. Wounds, accidents, arson, unknown diseases. All of those that take life from us. Why this one? Why this one in particular? I won't accept that this is something special or different. It is. Trust me, it is.
Real quick.
But your hatred is personal.
Zenith, make me a 1d a red roll.
Sure. Let's see here. So boop and then boop.
Okay, Zenith, you take 20 damage.
Ooh.
As wow, that was holy shit. That somehow does not break the illusion. As he thinks in his head, because she's dead. He kind of turns over, because she might die. It's snuck in everywhere. It's coming. It might take all that I care about.
That's
I can't
right.
let that happen.
That's right, Dr. Nadir. And because I am so villainous, I'm willing to bring you back to day one to try it again. Maybe this is the time, right? All those other times, they didn't count, they didn't matter. But maybe this one, maybe it's the one.
Stop talking this nonsense. This is all a dream. When I wake up, I will sever you from this world.
Good. I look forward to seeing you try, Doctor.
He snaps his head over to Illyria.
Is it time for our dear doctor to return to his seat? Or do you plan on testing to see if the next chamber is loaded?
She stops and shakes her head again. No, I made a promise that I'd walk out here. It's a pretty cheap promise. If I can't keep it, I'll just give up. But she points at the doctor. I said I'd point out the villain of this story, and I intend to do so. She takes a step forward and puts a hand on Dr. Nadir's shoulder. You can still save her. Actually. In fact, I'd say in a lot of ways you already have.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Illyria, like, tries to smile as hard as she can through the mask. It chokes out literally all of it. Do you remember the music box you got, Heather?
I haven't given it to her yet, though.
She's gonna hold on to that with her entire being. Your ability to find a cure for the plague, that's something that you are going to burn up your entire life trying to find. But it won't matter. But, I also mean that kind of in a good way. She tilts her head a little bit. Because, that music box you're going to give her, that's gonna be what actually saves her. Not some miracle cure you discover. Not some marvel of medical engineering. You're gonna save that woman. You already have. I'd like to point out that I gave Heather back the music box. The one that makes her unable to die so long as it is intact.
I see, yes, of course.
I'd like to motion Nadir to Heather.
He looks over and Lucian takes 1 damage. And he's I wish I could believe that fully. It's just a music box. And I'm just a doctor.
You're right, Doc. How could a little music box stop me? Look at me! You think some fancy little tunes and a heartfelt apology of your failures could stop me from knocking on your door?
He turns. No. But maybe it can help her find peace.
Huh?
Let's see how he does on that. You take 10 damage, Zenith. He stops and then moves, stepping off the stage and moving back into the audience. He takes a seat, resuming his position as just yet another audience member.
Illyria looks back at him, then back at Zenith. Like I said, finding a villain behind all this. Finding the one responsible. That's my goal. And a few thoughts run through my head right now. She taps the side of her mask. There's the first route, the easy one. Saying that you are responsible for everything here and everything that is bad that has happened within this district. Then there's another route. The one that he just so clearly demonstrated. She motions back to the doctor. The one animated by his regret. That this entire dream, everything that exists around us, is his fault. That this reality exists because one man was unable to let go. That he lost to the plague and wants to try again and again and again and again to beat it, to reclaim someone he loved from it. But I don't want the illusion to break either of those ways. It's too cruel to either of you. It's like what you said earlier. You were made to fulfill a role, made by him. And he was made into this by a very, very real plague. I don't want this to end with either of you going down as the villain.
You can't have a story without a villain, Illyria! That's ridiculous! That's not even a story anymore! That's just something! I don't even know what!
She slams the stage again. I didn't say there wasn't one. It's just neither of you. She's perspiring heavily under the mask. Her entire mind is reeling. She's connecting up absolutely everything she's learned, everything she's thought about to this point. Yeah. No, there's something else here. I just need to see it. I just need to discover the cause and root it out. Because I don't want to accept a dream that blames either of you.
Well, dear Illyria, we're running out of actors on the stage for the blame to be the villain. And you don't even have an inkling of an idea of who it could be. Yet here I stand, the perfect villain.
She thinks back. There have been so many inconsistencies over the course of the last week, but they all connect up so perfectly. They all point to Zenith. Or they could point to Nadir. Everything could be redirected to him very easily, but he sees him sitting next to Heather, and she remembers Heather's intention. Pass on with him, not as the architect of this suffering, but as her husband. Okay. Well, villain. Draw it back. What do I know about this plague? What did I see in that picture? What do I know about this place? That's right. She sits up for a second. The Noble District. The way it all connects up. This place was a sealed coffin from the very beginning. The people who lived here were affluent. They were unforgiving. And they intended to conquer this disease through wealth, then unity. Everyone working together here couldn't overcome this disease because the villain that they were pitted up against was... And her mind sees it. It connects up in that second. Exactly the villain of this play. The villain of any story that is honestly man versus nature. A classic villain, almost predictable and borderline cliche. And her voice stops. She can't say it. She wants, more than anything, to say that the villain is the world. It is a combination of cruel factors, poor hygiene, people handling the disease in the worst way possible. She wants to say that this is, to a certain extent, everyone's fault, that it is a failure of humanity, and it is a failure of kindness. That reality exists, and sometimes it's arbitrary, and sometimes it's cruel, and sometimes it just drives in the knife, and sometimes people die. Sometimes the doctor doesn't save his patient. She wants to, she feels that disillusion building up inside of her, and she wants to say it so bad, but she knows somewhere Teach is watching. And the second she says those words, she'll have broken the one promise that she intends to keep. This one isn't for me. So instead, she stops dead, her words dying in her throat. The audience is left on that dying note, and an awkward silence fills the room. Can I take a wound?
Well, I'm gonna let Zenith deal you a wound by straight up attacking you right now, because he probably will. So Zenith, go in. Really nail that one in.
Okay.
So, let me get this straight. You won't blame me. You won't blame the origin. Yet you'd have the audacity to victim blame? You would blame them? That they weren't doing their best? That's merely a factor! That's not the root cause! I am the one who gave them sickness. I am the one who decided that the small ones should get sick first, so that the older ones can watch their young perish. That they would have the strength to dig the holes and watch their children die. I'm the one who decides that. They did not. They were merely the victims of this story.
She wants to say it's more than that. She wants to say that diseases like this happen, that This is just, if you look back at history, but her mind trails off. All of it evaporates like hot smoke. There's nothing there. The chamber is empty.
Make a roll for me, Zenith.
Sure, so I'm still red.
Yeah.
I have literally no way to resist this. And that damn. Yeah, no, I can't. I got nothing. I can't.
Alrighty then. Then yeah, take that straight up.
Take
You
that
get knocked
straight up
down.
16 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Zenith slowly lowers his head down to you.
You know, Illyria, it might be wise to still take up my offer. I did suggest that you could walk away and let this dream perpetuate itself until, well, forever. Because you need to also consider, you seem to like me, and you seem to think I'm doing a pretty good job. I mean,
He looks at the audience with a big smile.
you don't even think I'm the bad guy.
And you can hear the audience kind of chuckle with him.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm the best fit for this, because did you ever consider for a moment
He gets very close.
that if this breaks, that this won't just happen again? That regret will just perish with me? No. The regret will build, and there will be something even worse than me. Something more tenacious. Something that has no interest in seeing you smile.
Illyria collapses up against the wall, barely supporting her weight. Okay. No. Back. There's something there. There's gotta be something there. There's something that I overlooked. Post-room puzzle. Something in the history. A contradiction somewhere. Logic error. There's gotta be something. She turns over everything in her head, running through it.
You consider that for a moment, running through everything in your head, your mind racing in that way. Which attribute do you take damage to?
Red. Her instinct. She was just following her
Yeah.
guts, and
Yeah, and her guts spilled.
yeah.
Roll me a 3d6 then to restore your HP. 8, nice.
Well, it's actually going to be
However,
10 because I'm locking in that
as
yellow.
you sit there and contemplate and hold yourself, you hear a voice ring out across the room. Suddenly, that's very right. Unfair of you. Unfair of you at all. As a voice sings. He stops, pointing a finger right across. Illyria, how dare you insult my dear friend Zenith over here?
She stops blinking. What?
Yeah, what?
Horace moves across and leaps onto the stage, and kind of looks right up at you, Zenith. My man over here has done a great job paying the villain. He is, after all, look at him. He's a monster. Isn't that right, bud? He smiles at you.
I mean, how could you tell? Our makeup department's spot on.
We don't have that. Come on. That's just your natural getup. It's like that moment where you're trying to make a cast member and they've just got the perfect look. It just works. The perfect attitude. Everything to pretend to be a villain.
Pretend?
Yes, of course. Pretend. After all, you just said it yourself, didn't you? You're holding on to this role because someone else much worse could get inside of it if it wasn't for you, right? He again raises his finger up and kind of points.
Yes, I suppose. It's mostly because there is a certain way that this needs to go.
And he looks down at Illyria.
Absolutely.
And I strayed away from it maybe a bit too much.
He kind of stops a bit. and thinks as it kind of looks over. Well, that's a load, don't you think?
She nods along. Yeah, you're right. Hold on. Maybe there was something there. She draws it back. She starts to think through it again. Horace. What's
Yeah.
What's your title in this again?
Me. He kind of just like puts his hand to his chest. Well, I am simply a puppet master.
No, not that. You said it earlier. The Master of Strings, right?
Yeah, did I say that?
She nods.
He kind of thinks. Yeah, I did say that.
Oh my god.
She looks up at Zenith. What was your title in all of this again?
I am the director.
Always bugged me that you're out here, the director and the villain. Isn't that strange?
I wouldn't describe it as a self-cast, but merely, I guess, two roles I was born for. Someone needs to make sure that there's flow, and why not the person who drives the story the most?
Oh. She looks back over at, Horace. Well, following that up, did you handle casting? Did you choose who walked through the doors?
Well, it's more of an open audition.
Horace kind of turns over to the side. That means no, by the way.
What does it even matter? What does it even matter? The people out here anyways are entertaining and performing for you. What more do you want? What does it matter if I chose them or not?
It matters a great deal, actually. That's right, actually. Oh my god. She clutches the mask. Yeah, that's what's bugged me all along about you.
Bugged. Go on.
Bugged!
Oh, I love you both. she rubs the eyes of her mask. You said it earlier. Hurst drove the point home. Something much worse could come along. You didn't even want to be here, did you? She looked...
Change the fact that it's a role that is necessary.
No. It matters a great deal, actually. Yeah, that's right. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. She slams her face on the fucking wall behind. I was so caught up. I was so caught up in the story itself that I missed something that was just hitting me right in the face all along. You both said you were created for this, right?
Yes.
These are the roles you were created to fill, right?
Of course.
I was looking for the villain behind this. The one who created you, and my best guess was him. But it's so blisteringly obvious. The smallest amount of common sense would blow through it in a second. Regret would not create this. People regret all the time. She slams the back of the stage again. Nadir is not the only one who lost something during that plague. This isn't an ordinary doctor's regret. This isn't created by someone feeling very bad. It bugged me so much all along. You had these names. The director, the orchestra, the master of strings. There was another name that was brought up again and again in every conversation with you. She looks up at Zenith. The production. Proper noun. Such an idiot. She stands up to her full height again. Yeah. Okay. So, let's take it from that angle then, shall we? If we're talking about a normal tragedy, trying to hunt out a perpetrator is pointless. You can blame the victims, sure. In fact, that's a common thing a lot of people do. You can blame the doctors who didn't get to the sickness quick enough. You could even blame the sickness itself because it makes an easy target. But you said it yourself. It's a combination of factors. At the end of the day, it comes down to whatever helps the living cope. Whatever gives people hope for tomorrow. If it comes down to hating someone like Zenith, fine. If it comes down to disillusion, accepting those scars and moving on, fine. But that pain has gone far beyond that. It's dragged many, many more people in, and it's replicated itself on them. That isn't a coping mechanism anymore. That is a villain. Something that carves its pain into others to justify its own existence. That isn't you, Zenith. That isn't you, Horus, and that sure as hell isn't Nadir. That is the production. What holds us all here and forces us to put on this charade. It's what made you, it's what made him, and it's the reason I feel so damn bad now.
Horus kind of looks in. Yeah, Zenith, you go.
Yeah, Zenith looks down at Horus, and then his head quickly cranes back to Illyria.
A most fascinating theory. But you still need to consider the production. While it has taken, it has given. It has given us life. It has given us purpose. And it has given these people the chance to try and connect with one another time and again. I do certainly help influence that, but that's because it is the role I have been given.
She nods. You're right. Once again, you're so damn right. But I said it at the beginning. This isn't a tragedy. This is a story about a tragedy. You brought in so much levity. You gave us all a chance to connect with each other and to push back against it. You gave me a multitude of chances to see that the backstage existed and that this death was not a real or true death. If this was a tragedy, there would be no hope at the end of this. But right now, hope is all we have.
The reason for that is so that it can be destroyed. It makes it all the worse when it falls apart. Every time you are given light, I bring back the shadow. That is what is necessary to break a hero. Did you forget our lesson?
Clash, right now.
I'm going to... Oh boy. Yeah, no. Hey Christian,
I definitely think that's... Oh yeah?
I'm gonna pop some of that orange crush to start pushing my memories into the scene itself.
Oh, cheater.
Okay, nice. Nice.
Yes. Yeah! Why did I roll 2 d20s?
No, that's fine.
Hold on, reroll.
No.
Okay.
Because I was gonna give you advantage anyways for this. You would have gotten that
Ah.
first roll, but then you hear
the
a voice
reveal.
ring out from behind you. Ah, gosh, yeah, that's what I've been trying to say, you idiots! I wasn't able to talk. I wasn't able to make it clear, but you're all so stupid! She stops and then holds the wand in her hand as she appears again, playing the theme. Ah! Continue, sorry.
What's your problem?
What's your problem? She's got a point. The production, everything around this line. It's a good pattern to follow. You should give it some thought. Come on, then. Explain it to them. Come on. Tell them.
You of all people should understand that without this production, we're dead. I play the bad guy so that you can breathe. You should be thanking me. But what is necessary, what I need, is for everyone to hate me. That's what I need.
I should have realized it from the start. All of your symptoms, what you're going through, matches up exactly with what we've seen in the town. Zenith? From the very start, I thought I have to wake everyone else up from this. I think the truth is, you're the one I need to wake up. You're the one that's still dreaming. She points at Zenith. You weren't made for this. You were drawn into it same as everyone else.
All right.
Did
Take
not
eight.
exist before this.
How much?
16.
How can you say that? I did not even I wasn't even a concept before this.
You're wrong! She slams the stage again!
Zenith actually recoils a bit, like, ah.
Every single time you've reached out, every single time you've talked to me, you have shown an intelligence that could not be born from that man's regret. You asked me a question about a car, for God's sake! Ratings, the concept didn't exist before radio! She points at him! And finally, the most damning thing! Locusts are native to Indigo! She slams the stage again! Wherever you came from, it wasn't here! You were made into Zenith the same way she was made into Orchestra, the same way he was made into Horus. The second this dream ends, you're gonna be free.
What is to say that I wasn't just seeing as this is a manifestation of his regret? Plenty of people feel regret in Indigo. Surely I was manifested from their concerns as well.
She shakes her head. No. All of this plague boiling within absolutely every one of us. It's personal. You've made it clear it's personal. We've each lived through a personal hell that you've crafted for us. At this point, I'm not willing to accept that this is some collective unconsciousness. Beatrice's hell was made for her. Orchestra's was made for her. This regret was made for you, too. All of those memories that are drifting around inside of you, every bit that's Zenith, every bit that wants to be fun and give hope, that existed before this dream did.
Look at me, Illyria. I am a monument. I grow with regrets. I don't grow from hope. I don't get stronger from laughs and smiles and joy. That's not me.
Exactly!
Wait, what?
Why do it if that's not you? You were perfectly crafted, suited to this mold, but there are bits of you that are breaking away. There are parts of you that don't fit the role of a villain. If you were the ideal villain of this play, I wouldn't be able to see you as anything else.
Well, that just means I'm a likable villain, and that's a crowd favorite.
Why play to the audience then? Why? Why put in the effort of making them laugh as they suffer? Why aren't you the perfect puppet that Nadir wanted? It's been bugging me from the start. He is so simple and single-minded and empty. You are still so full.
That's because this was going to be a terrible performance if I didn't innovate. If we followed the original script, how boring would that be? There would be nothing. It would just be sadness over and over and over and over again. That does not entice the audience. That does not make them care. You need to make them laugh so that when they cry, it hurts all the more. Every laugh should give you one tear. Too much of one wasted.
And whose decision was that? Yours or the production's?
Mine.
That is the part where you draw away. That is the part where Zenith is something different. The production isn't capable of creating something like that. That is why we were drawn in. Because it needed something it lacked. And you know what it lacked? Point. A director.
Zenith just kind of looks away. He's thinking.
It'd be a roll to die then.
Oh boy. Blue doesn't count, so yeah.
Oof. Yeah, no,
Not-
you
not
can't.
great.
You can't. Judging by that roll, you cannot embrace the delusion, the production as your means of fighting, because you are not sure. It's yellow. All you know is you at this point.
All right, so I'll switch to yellow.
Yeah. And make me a roll to do, Illyria.
Okay. My orange crush swapped this up. Boom!
All right, then you. Oh, Christ.
I
That's,
would like
9
to.
damage.
And at this point, having named the true villain of this play, I would like to equip Heather's gift, targeting
Excellent.
the production.
I see. You do 9 damage to Zenith then, and Zenith is brought down low. But you also know your new nemesis in this way, the production itself, or that is what the delusion was. And this entire time, all of that which was built around to process. Zenith himself, a personification of the Doctor's regret in some form, but it was not the Doctor's regret. In the end, even Zenith was an actor. And all of this birth, the point of this, the production itself, its own entity, twisting, moving. And as you said it yourself, over time, the actors moving away from it, gaining their own ability, their semblance. And yet the production remains. And it bears down on you. It takes a wound. And that means I'm going to do something different now. Because of you doing it in that order, instead of wounding the theater, the plague is wounded. And that means that as you sit there, you feel a shift, a slight rumble, a turn, as you, again, the lights shift off for just a moment as you are held in suspension. Holding yourself firm there, you wait a bit. Moving around as, yeah, you totally did just get some good hits on, but then the lights continuing to shift, moving around, almost like a performance that's about to be played again, played anew for you. You come back, and the production, no physical form manifesting, yet ever present the entire time, like a cloak, a field, all around you. This was the intoxicating feeling. Walking around feeling the claustrophobia you felt from the very, very beginning. This is the production at its true nature. And it bears down on you in this moment. I want you to roll to die for me.
Can do. Oh boy.
Zenith?
What have
You are no
done?
longer a part of the production. Proceed however you would like to proceed. I will not direct you in any way. You are now free. Consider yourself a player now.
I said this at the start. This wasn't supposed to be a monologue. She looks up to Zenith, desperate.
You managed not to take hits in this moment.
I don't understand. I didn't.
He like lowers his head. He's thinking very hard.
But the production is me, right?
She shakes her head. If you wanted any more proof, sense what's going on in your body at this exact moment. Because right now it seems like same as when we faced him. She motions with her head to Nadir. We're both the villains now.
Not on my watch. I refuse to see the hero fall to the villain.
Oh fuck yes. Could I request a break after that? I need
Okay.
a hot second.
Okay.
That is the
Take that.
coolest shit I've heard in my life.
Sure. Yeah.
Give me a sec to fucking breathe. This
Yeah,
is
no, that's
hurt.
fine. Yeah. Oh. Let me grab another music track then in the meanwhile.
Oh, this is the rawest shit. Fuck me, God, Jesus.
Glad he's having fun.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm back.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, hi.
Ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty, cool. Give me a moment then.
Almost done shitting my pants.
Alrighty. In which case, you. I just Horace Alvear. Hey y'all, I love this game.
Accidental Horace is the most correct accidental character you can do.
Yeah. You hold yourself for a moment, and you feel that echo across the room. As you feel that Paul fall down on you, as the production decides to pull the plug on you.
What?
And you feel as if, like, someone is trying to rip a cord out of the back of your head.
Mm.
The production has no interest in playing along with your game. However, that's because it knows you've heard it. And regardless of that, you stand up again. As Orchestra kind of steps back a bit, moving to the side, and plays a song. The theme of the one she's been fighting against the entire time.
Ooh.
And you feel a weight behind you as well, as the lumbering figure of Zenith with its gaping maw, infinite eyes, multiple misshapen hands and wings, moves up and approaches you in a defensive way, at least for a moment.
By the way, my roll 20 is reloading, because of course it is.
Oh, okay, gotcha. In this case, I'll wait.
There it goes, yeah, and then drag me over to the right map when you get the chance. Okay.
Alright, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Oh,
Everything is
okay.
good.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, solid. Ready. Go.
Alright.
I must admit, Illyria, I'm not entirely certain what you've done. But it is my role to ensure your safety.
I think I just pissed off what's keeping us all here.
Oh, yes, you certainly did.
So, same way as we were gonna do before. Let's break out of this mess. Everybody together, okay?
I must admit, I'm not entirely certain where that would be, and besides,
He gestures to himself.
Not sure what door I'm fitting through.
Well, we could always try to do what we were just doing. Bring it down around us by pointing out its various flaws.
I see. Instead of targeting the origin of it, what created the production, targeting the production itself.
She nods. I figure we might as well piss it off if we point out various holes in it. I'm just gonna poke it and see what happens. Illyria stands up at the front of the stage. On my second day here, I discovered something. A hole that shouldn't have existed. An error in the logic of this world. I discovered a closed room in which the person who came before me sat and vanished. They died in anonymity, but their spirit passed on to me. You created this hole. You created this puzzle. But I discovered the truth of it. The doctor that came before existed. And all of this began to unravel. She clicks and unclicks her mask, making sure it's secure. Everything behind the scenes is broken. A shallow facsimile. I said it before, I'll say it again. This play's a farce. I'd like to roll to attack.
All right, do so. You clash.
Of course. I'm gonna down a fucking potion.
Good shit. You're probably good.
Let's up my swing.
Whew.
Oh.
Scary roll, okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you like to equip your gift that negates clash failure?
I would love to
Or
equip
clash
my gift that
escalation?
negates clash. Yes, please.
All right. Okay. So, because of that, you will only take 5 damage from this.
Still hurts.
Still hurts a bit,
Okay.
but
I'm at 11 thanks to the
it-
potion.
snaps back at you at that as you kind of hold yourself there. Zenith, give it a go.
You know, I think part of our problem is this stage, after all. I'm not feeling particularly clever, but I am rather strong these days.
And Zenith is actually going to, with all of his might, bring his arms downward and just smash into the stage.
Holy shit, yes.
There seems to be some damage to your glorious stage production. We may have to cancel the performance. How very unfortunate!
All right, make me an attack roll there.
Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna swing, and then I rolled that earlier, so boop.
There it fucking is!
You feel a rumble as the hornets and locusts and everything behind you spur to life as you punch into the stage. And these locusts, icons of your very being, seem to flock and tear and eat away at the wood. An entire unfolding swarm that was gifted to you by the production now turns on its very head. The entire stage being eaten and devoured in front of you. Okay, that's a lot of damage. The stage gets even angrier at that, and it's going to attack back at both of you.
That makes sense. Clash for
One
me.
at you, yep. And one at Zenith. Alright, Zenith,
Oh, that
roll a
one's
die, you
gonna
won't be able to
hit.
clash with it.
Oh, what's this now?
You take 8 damage, Illyria. Zenith, you're gonna take... roll a die.
Sure. My
2d6.
die roll. Yeah.
Probably pretty bad right now.
But
Roll
you
two.
might be able to beat an 11. That's possible. You
Oh.
do when you lock something in!
Oh boy!
I guess I will
That's
lock.
red is the 6. You, despite being severed, you feel yourself pulling on strings that you still have. Strings that you have wrestled, destroyed, and taken from the stage. You may rename this a tribute if you like, but this is your production if you'd like.
Oh boy, you really put me on the spot here, haven't you? I wasn't one for improv, that's why I liked Illyria so much. But perhaps I should just fill the role I was meant to plea. I am comedy.
Bra fucking Mo! Yo! With that, Illyria's going to dive off the stage and land next to Orchestra.
Ah!
Hey, you wanna, oh my god, my head hurts so much. I think it's only gonna get worse.
It's okay. It's okay. Hang on.
No, you wanna, okay, you wanna cause some chaos? This seems like something you'd be about. Tip shit over?
I already have. You gotta glances over, and you notice, you hear the sound of a theater door opening. As someone ends up walking through, and they kind of start speaking. You know, one thing I really don't like about this, beyond everything, just the fact that at the very core of it, it doesn't really make much sense. Someone steps forward and adjusts their glasses on their head slightly. After all, this doesn't even mimic at all the time period that you've been crafting it off of. She flips her papers down, papers that were gifted to her by Taka. You made a critical error in your research production. You simply seem to mistake the lethality of this plague. Yes, the casualty rate was 73%, but the infection rate was what was going so rampant. Most of the deaths occurred afterwards due to bad sanitation and other factors such as that. This plague is not one that kills so quickly. It's a farce. Really, you should have picked something else too. At the end of the day, a theater, a plague? If you really wanted to make everyone feel like shit, maybe pick something that you can feel, like, just purely blame humans off of. Not something as powerless as a plague. I'm gonna roll, let's see how Teach does at a red roll. Let's see how Teach does at a... Oh, wow! Teach destroyed.
Hey, no, I know exactly how to, like, fuck this up for Teach.
Oh, yeah?
So it's more Illyria's fault, because all of those are very good points. Illyria stands up to her full height. Don't be mean to Zenith!
He stops and is like, wait, what?
He's not a powerless plague, he's doing his best!
I'm sorry, I thought he was... Oh, I didn't realize we were
You
friends now.
you misread the room, it's okay, it's fine. Just tip something over up there.
Kind of shoves the
Stage
doll
goes
next-
broken.
He kind of like shoves the doll next to her to the side and is just like, oh, okay.
Illyria gives her like a good job, thumbs up.
He did nothing today. But someone else does emerge as well, very quickly. I mean, all that's kind of true as well, but I have to say, even from the concept of a shop, I would have run out of supplies on day one. I mean, really. He kind of like starts running across. At the end of the day, she jumps on Harp's head and runs us over here. And, Horace, back me up. Right! He kind of runs over. Between my poor management of my shop and my absolute buffoonery by running around without a mask and touching everyone, the two of them look together and kind of look apart. We would have lost on day one!
Holy shit!
Let me Beatrice, and then get a bonus from him. Yeah, okay, that does it.
Holy shit!
And then, solemn footsteps emerge out. One more, coming to support you in your time of need. He just silently steps up, moves past Teach, and kind of goes up, sits down on a chair a bit, and then yells out to you. I got no fucking clue what's going on, but I believe in you, Illyria! And that honestly, all of them are here. You feel restore your health back.
Whew,
Get
okay.
up the full real quick.
Okay! Less dead now!
You go in then.
Okay. She looks back over at these two. Okay. God, where do I even start with this? Well, first of all, the shit that annoyed me. she tips this puppet over. Various logical inconsistencies that all stack up, unanswered facts, and little hints that led to nowhere. What was that bullshit? She thinks back. In the apartment, absolutely everyone got sick. Perfect mortality rate, right? Except for one person who was fine despite absolutely everything. What the shit was that? It bothered me.
Zenith is pulling up a floorboard. Even I don't know!
The production ends up once again blasting back against you. Oh, but this time, roll for me.
20 plus 6.
Roll to die this time.
Oh, roll to die this time. It's not a
Or
clash.
no, roll to do. It is roll to do. It is a clash. Oh, you did it! You did it! Against you. But fuck that. No. No. This pain of it trying to pull this plug on you, this is nothing compared to what you felt moving across this place, helping all those people, feeling their pain, their regrets, and everything that moved along. In the end, Zenith did prepare you for this. He gave you that pain that you needed to learn, to grow. Regardless of how it came to be, regardless of what happened here, at the very least, you know you're strong now. Because you did make it through all of that. All of that doubt is gone. As you stand there again.
She feels herself actually getting, like, the headache is getting so much worse she can barely see anymore, but fuck if she doesn't feel justified and strong in this exact moment. You know, from the very start, I was confused about everything. But all those little contradictions I picked up moment by moment, the stairs down, the mosquito man who gave me this mask, all those little problems all drove me towards a certain conclusion. That this place was flawed. I was called in as a doctor. I wanted to fix things. But the thing I think I wanted to fix most is how absolutely fucked this place is. Everyone here, everyone you tricked, everyone you drew in, all of them are free now. I'm going to free the rest too. I don't know what your goal was. I don't know what lesson you were trying to impart, but everything I'm taking away from this production is something that was given to me by the people here. I owe you nothing.
Roll to die now.
Roll to die now?
Or roll to do. I keep fucking it up.
It's cool.
It's a very intense moment, okay? Oh. Hang on, let me roll for it. Okay. You say that. You don't need it. You deny it. But you don't deny it out of some sense of bitterness. You deny it out of pride, out of understanding, and out of anger, I guess. But your own anger. Not anger at the world, not anger directed at any one person. Directed at this thing, this tragedy, this fate that tries to exist in its way. The Doctor's manifestation. The true monument to regret. And as you do that, you feel yourself snapping through it, cutting through the miasma, one slice at a time. You wound it again. This time, it loses all bits of its color, all bits of its pressure around you. You feel a light peeling in, a blistering yellow pool into the room, lighting up this entire place as spotlights go off. Zenith stands tall, and you feel it there still, limping, moving and attempting to strike back at you. It's gonna swing wild at you.
Oh boy.
In its last moments lipping, it chose to fight like a cornered rat, attempting to tear you away, and In that moment, you felt none of it.
Really, I guess at the end of all of this, the notes that I was handed walking in was that this would be a story about a doctor trying and failing to save what they cared about most. I think the real comedy here is that I've only discovered more and more things that I care about over the course of this. And I've discovered that the thing that I treasured the most, my face and my name, didn't really mean so much to me to begin with. So, this is a story about a tragedy that ends as nothing but a farce. Just gonna take a step away. And, just gonna throw arms around these two. People she cares about most. Let's head out, okay?
Yeah,
Show's over.
Horace kind of steps up, and again, feeling this thing limping forward, he kind of stops a bit, and he pulls out a rapier, and with that, he seems to, like, press it into the ground, poking a single small hole into the marble. And with that, almost like stabbing straight into the nervous system of this thing, the last little vestiges seem to die out. And he tosses his rapier to the floor and kind of looks over and pats Beatrice on the head and then looks at everyone else. Good job, everyone. We did it.
Illyria looks back. I kind of, no, jeez, kind of wanted it all to have meant something. Like, I don't think I'd fully woken up yet. I wanted this whole thing, all this pain I went through, to be, something that really mattered to me, you know? But, I don't think I need to put that on myself. I can discard all the scattered scars that this thing put on me. I can walk away happy with the people I met getting those scars. That's enough. Taps her chest. It's enough to be me.
Teach.
Don't
Look
need
up
to
for a
just...
second there. It's good philosophy. Yeah, it's real nice. And you kind of like stand there for a moment, and as you do, you feel things around you kind of drift slightly. Here, you feeling okay?
She stands up. I'm doing great.
And on cue with that, you fall over and collapse unconscious. Let's call a break right there.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna get some water real quick.
Oh boy, I want to know what comes next.
Yeah, we get some fucking water then.
Okay.
Get some sippies.
That was so fucking good.
Well done, sir.
Right back at you. Do
Oh.
not be mean to Zenith. Haha, stage go brr.
Zenith's an idiot.
I love him. Oh my god. Holy shit.
I had told Christian before, I was like, man, I don't know what he's gonna do. We'll do. I'm not like, we shouldn't plan because like, I mean, we should plan just in case, but like, it doesn't matter.
I'm like, so I flew in with no idea what the fuck was gonna happen. I'm happy with how it happened.
Yeah, no, this is great. No, this is spicy.
Oh, fuck.
Oh
Fuck,
man,
dude.
oh, man.
Ah!
Sorry, your birthday present is
Hello, I'm back.
stress.
No, it's the best. Wouldn't have it any other way. This is the best shit ever.
I'm back.
Welcome
Welcome
back.
back. What the fuck happens next?
Oh boy, you ready? Ready to keep going?
Yeah, ready to keep going.
Alrighty. You find yourself clicking awake again. What? Wait. You're sitting in a familiar room. Oh, right. This is the doctor's room. You quickly gain bearings of your area now. You're like, wait, okay, what? And you turn around, and there's a figure sitting on the bed right next to you. That same solemn expression. Hey. Sorry.
Hey. Oh, she unclips her mask so he can see the very genuine smile. One of the heaviest and hardest things I had to do here, the one that I fucked up the most, was saying sorry when I shouldn't. This isn't your fault.
It really feels like it to some degree. I have to admit, well, I know I can't keep moping, at least.
I mean, you can. As long as it takes.
I understand, but I mean more of I can't. I personally can't. Not after everything you said, you know? It just doesn't feel right.
Well, what's the plan then?
He kind of stops a bit. And you notice that he looks up to his finger. And upon his finger, his ring finger, there's a marriage band. And he kind of holds it in his hands a bit and kind of closes his fist for a moment. I think I need to accept. I don't think I've... I think that was always the hardest part. Every time I failed. When you want to do something to help people, it always hurts whenever you can't. But I don't think... Well... I guess even from a practical perception, just a pure numbers basis, this is obviously not helping more people than it would if I were to stop. But even from a personal case, I just feel everything you said cut real deep. I started to wake up. You and all those friends and even the actors on the stage, I feel, might be weird to say, but I feel immensely blessed. I don't, even now I don't know if I actually deserved this. This wasn't as much of a hell, more of a blessing for me that I imposed on the world. This has been... it's been a lot.
Yeah. Sounds like we've been struggling with very much the same thing. But, well, I'll tell you what I told Horace. Because, I think he was blessed by this place too. When this all ends, it isn't about the promises we made here, or the promises we created here. It's about what we do with them in the future. And, thinking that this is the end of everything just because you failed to keep a promise is underestimating the woman you loved a little bit. She pokes him on the forehead.
He kind of looks really ashamed at that. I've done her more of a disservice than anything. Honestly, this is just... He stops a bit.
Well, you got your chance. You are blessed. You got your chance to hang out in a birdcage of your own, to think it out, and now you're ready to walk forward. Nothing to be ashamed of in that.
He kind of gives you a light smile. I think I've walked enough. But I'm happy I can say that. I walked years and years after when I should have stopped, when I would have gotten rest. And yet, I guess it feels good to know I can stop. And it's okay to stop sometimes.
She nods.
He kind of looks at you again. I'm sorry. He says again, not for all the stuff going on, not for me. I'm more just... You went through a lot. Passed out right after that. You're sleeping right now.
Oh.
I think you'll miss them. Saying goodbye, I mean.
She shakes her head and gets a more mournful smile on her face. Just because I missed my chance to say goodbye doesn't mean I won't be able to say it in the future.
You kind of... Yeah.
I mean, you better than anyone you should know. Any parting is only temporary. And even in the most unlikely circumstances, well, you can find those people again. You can find the marks they left on us.
He kind of stops a bit. Yeah. I've clung on to this world for far too long. But I think I'm ready for something new. He kind of reaches down. You notice he pokes at his wedding band again. And with 2 fingers, he starts to take it off. And you feel something about that. Something within that ring itself. Everything in this room feels like a dream. Feels fake. That is real. That thing in his hand is real, and you feel something from it.
She stops him. Should I play you a song? She moves over and pulls out the music box that Heather hid.
He kind of thinks a bit. No. I'm up for a new song. He kind of holds it between 2 fingers, and he flicks that bonding band down to the floor. And on that moment, it does not hit the floor. It instead hits a palm. A palm for someone that was not here but a moment ago, yet seems to slowly fade in. A wispy blueness kind of shifting around her form as the ring lands in her hand. And she kind of inspects it a bit and looks up to him. She kind of stares at it for a moment. Illyria, can you hold this?
Illyria nods and takes it.
You take it. You feel the weight of your hand of real steel. Something... this seems... Roll inquisitive for me.
Oh, okay.
Or empty eyes, empty face, I believe would be a better one for this.
It's just this. Oh, I did very good.
Okay.
That is a 25.
The way it feels, this feels like magic. This is some form of magic item of some kind. You're not sure the purpose. You feel something's inscribed in it, but in the end, you kind of look at it for a moment. It grabs your attention until Heather's voice severs it again and speaks up. Well, I'm glad you finally saw reason. He kind of stops and... I'm just kidding. Come on. She moves up and gives him a hug. Hey, thank you. Thank you, too. She turns to Illyria.
I guess I kept that promise, at least.
She smiles at you. Yes, you did. Thank you. For keeping a promise like that. Well, you shouldn't feel like, well, I did that. You should feel pride. You met up to a promise. That's a good thing. You should feel really good about that. So try to, okay?
Okay.
She
She
kind of
looks
smiles a
down.
bit.
This is sweet, but it feels like my heart's ripping in half.
She stops a bit. Mm. I'm sorry about that. There's
No,
nothing
it's fine. she holds up her hand. A lot of this pain I don't want to carry because I don't want it to characterize me. This bit I think I'm okay with.
She kind of nods at that. Yeah. So long as you make those promises with... Well, so long as you enjoy making those promises, keep making them. So long as you, I guess in a sick, twisted way, enjoy the pain you carry, keep carrying it too. You know, after all this is done, she kind of turns. Despite my brutal character assassination, he just, again, kind of shrinks a little bit. I don't think... There was something intoxicating about my rage about this place. I really did like tearing into it, because I knew that you were on the other side of it. She looks directly at Nadir. So, instead of clinging on to that old one, how about a renewal of vows? And she reaches into her pocket and pulls out a ring.
No.
And again, kind of crouching low, she then takes one knee and holds it out to him. And he smiles, moving his hand out, and she places it on him. That ring, much like them, a spectral fake, yet a perfect bond between two ghosts ready to pass on. She stands up once more, and he stands up right after, and they reach and hold their hands. Usually it's not the audience's job to bow, but they both bow to you, Illyria.
Oh. Illyria, tears welling in her eyes, quickly clicks the mask back on and bows back.
Don't feel too sad. I think we're happy to retire into the past. But
That's what
keep
hurts
up
the most.
Hey, if it really hurts that bad, then claim the future for us, okay?
She stands up to her full height and then nods one time.
Nadir kind of stops a bit, looks at you, and then looks at Heather. Thank you for everything. As much as I'd like to say anything else, I think the words have been stolen from me by... Well, he kind of gestures his head over at Heather. What do you think you're gonna do after this? After all this is done?
Well, got a full and open life ahead of me. Because, feel like somebody rolled in and helped cure a lot of my own personal plagues.
Dr. Nadir kind of speaks up a bit. You know, I think in a lot of ways people would call me a quack. The medicine that we knew here before your family showed up was rather limited. But there was something I think I did understand pretty well. The thing with disease and plague and bodily harm and everything like that is the job of the doctor isn't to cure, it's to care for. At the end of the day, well, it's our own bodies that cure our plagues and illnesses. He looks at you. So, good job.
Illyria reaches under the mask and wipes her eyes. Damn, that's not fair.
Kind of like rubs the back
I
of
thought I
his
was
head.
the one saving you.
You were, but I guess... Heather speaks up again. We all saved ourselves, and that's the end of it.
Yeah. I'm gonna go out there. And I want to help people. But, I don't think I have it in me to be a doctor. I just want to help people help themselves. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. No promises. No arrogance. No nothing.
You consider that. And as you talk, you start to feel a fading. The warmth emanation from the ring around you. It's fading. This time, this experience is present, is beginning to slip back to the period it once belonged. A memory going to rest. And with that, shall we go? She looks over to Nadir and he nods. Good luck, Illyria. She steps out the door first, and he moves with, and the two of them move on to the blue, shapeless beyond.
Oh,
Beyond that
one
door.
second. As
Mhm.
the door opens, she reaches down and she pulls out a potion. One that was intended for Zenith, actually. She reaches and throws it to Nadir. You see Zenith out there anywhere, you give him this.
Okay.
It's his medicine, after all.
He thinks, right, will do. Good luck.
Illyria
And-
slowly exhales and puts the mask to her face. Looks around. No one else is there in this fading, fabricated world. She takes a pillow off the bed. She puts it on the ground. She lies down just like she used to.
And like that, a sleepless dream. The only dream you had that night was of them. Beyond that, you just kind of wake up suddenly. You feel it, your eyes peeling open, your body slow and sluggish. Yet your eyes do open at a decent pace as they kind of hold themselves, and then the blinding light of your surroundings fully made apparent. You see a strange set of armor and a cherry blossom tree in front of you, and that immediately gets your senses moving again as, well, you shoot up and then crash against the pillow again. And hearing the breath and voices suddenly like a swift movement, a breeze, like a gust. Your grandmother turns her head around and sees you sitting up, and her expression is implacable behind her mask, but not for her voice for a second. Illyria?
Hey, Mom. How's it going?
She stands, and then reaches up to her full height again.
Oh, it's
And-
hard to look cool when you've got an IV plugged into you and there's so many pillows.
She stops and moves. She kind of moves up and drifts her hand up to your head. Your skin is clammy and awful. You are very, very sick. Well, you've been off on a mighty fun adventure, haven't you?
Yeah. Certainly have.
Oh, I have so many questions. You're lucky you're sick. I would never want to have an interrogation with someone on a high fever, but you must simply rest. Please. Illyria, you were gone for at least 5 days. We found you suddenly in your room again. I want something quick. Did you catch anything? Tell me anything about your symptoms, what you caught. Is this a fever? What can you tell me? We have no idea.
She slowly shakes her head. I was gone. Oh, she sits. She tries to sit upright. There's a district on the far side of town, completely overgrown. You'll find people there. They were afflicted with.
she stops, and she kind of holds up a hand. Oh, no, okay. All right. That's enough, that's enough. I just wanted to see if they were telling the truth. We've already wrapped around and grabbed some people, but I wanted to make sure you were doing okay.
They?
Yes. A few people stopped by. Unfortunately, you were dreadfully sick. It's a bit unfortunate. One of the lads was waiting here almost the whole time, and yet just went out to grab some food, and, well, you woke up.
Illyria's eyes begin to well up.
Friends I've never met before. Quite curious. She kind of looks at you through the mask.
Illyria's eyes are fucking running again.
Oh. She flicks off her mask for a moment. Well. She kind of moves up. Oh, goodness. I'm very happy you're doing all right.
Me too.
She kind of stops. Would you like some time?
Mm-hmm. She nods.
And good old Gran nods her head after that, and she slowly makes her way off, turning and clicking her cane with her as she departs. Moving off. She steps, and you find yourself sitting there for a moment, holding yourself in bed, her bed, and sort of waiting, holding yourself, letting tears and feelings wash over you. They okay? They're okay. They're all gonna be okay. And then, they're all gonna be okay! It's so great! It's so happy! Oh, what a great show! Someone seems to kind of move from past the, speaking from behind the blinds over here, the changing room, kind of leaning into the shadow from over there. He speaks up at you.
A magnificent performance from our protagonist. Oh, it's a shame to see you bedridden, but it's actually one last little gift I have given to you, Illyria.
Hmm? She tips her head.
Figured it would.
She's like completely overwhelmed. She like 1,000 questions come to mind and then fucking get stuffed together like in a funnel.
Yes, I thought it might be a nice little parting gift if I made you sick. Because, as I had mentioned before, the benefit of a disease is it does bring people together.
Holy shit.
You see a fairly lean man wearing an awful literal bow tie. He runs kind of this carapace hand through his hair. His little antennae leg things wiggle a bit and he smirks.
How you feeling, kiddo?
What? You what?
Oh, this the new look. Do you like it?
Points at the nose.
Oh, yes. Well, I needed a new form for this new world, and like I told you before, you're an inspiration.
Illyria's brain fucking flatlines.
I just realized, is this creepy? I thought it was kind of like a sign of endearment, because like you were concerned about your face, and I was like, I'll do it too.
She continues babbling inanely while pointing at you. It's just I'm not used to seeing you with Skin. My skin
It's
over
not yours.
there.
It's not your skin. You have yours still.
She touches her face as if like a Loki. Thanks for answering that question.
I merely based my appearance on yours
Oh my god.
because I think you're pretty great, buddy.
It's it's so. She starts fucking crying without fully putting words together.
There. And Zenith sits on the bed and pats you on the shoulder. It's okay.
Why do I feel worse when you touch me?
Hey, what? Sorry, I didn't hear that. He like immediately lets go of you because maybe that was a bad move.
No, why do I feel sicker?
Still figuring that out. That's all right.
I'm just. Oh my god, I'm so happy to see you.
Zenith has a small smile. That is a refreshing thing to hear. I wanted to pop on by and check up on you for obvious reasons, but I also wanted to apologize. I certainly didn't make things easy on you. But
I didn't know.
didn't know.
I didn't know what would happen.
Oh, you think I did?
I didn't know what would happen at the end anyway, but you still trusted me.
I won't lie. I was pretty terrified. But, you know, friends should have some faith in their buddies after all. And for whatever reason, you kept having faith in me.
She's in like full sob at this point.
I'd pat you again and say there, but we've already established that's not a good decision.
Gigantic pronounced fucking snot inhale. What are you going to do now?
Ooh, boy.
What's next?
Boy, that's a great question. This is the first time I'm unemployed. So, also homeless. So it's going to be an interesting experiment, to put it mildly. But, I just wanted to also say thank you. I was actually working pretty hard to make you hate me. I wanted you to hate me as much as everyone else did, so that if you did need to kill me, there wouldn't be any regret. But I must say,
Mission failed there, then.
yeah, and thank God for that. Because look at this, I'm alive.
God, you're just too damn funny.
Well, tragedy clearly wasn't my style after all, and he adjusts his little bow tie.
This laugh crying is.
Illyria's just crying. Me, it's like the fucking comedy and tragedy masks over here.
But yeah, I guess the real question I have before I head out is, what are you going to do? Because if I recall, you had mentioned that you didn't really feel like a testudo anymore.
Yeah, once I'm feeling strong enough. Down here. I'm leaving this life behind.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a new one.
Good for you. Do something for you for once. I've already seen you've certainly put in enough work for others. Not that it isn't appreciated, I assure you. Many, many, many people appreciate what you've done.
She kind of like blinks a few times. That's, for most of it, I was just serving my own interests. But, yeah, at a certain point, I've got to admit, I did pretty okay.
I'd say you did more than okay. And I don't think there's anything wrong with serving your own interests if it does happen to benefit others. I mean, you kind of cut to the core of it. Why do I make people laugh? Why do I make them smile? It was, yes, part of the job. I needed to make it as painful as possible. But when you see people cry as often as you do, it's refreshing to make them cry from a good laugh instead.
Illyria's tears continue running and she nods along fervently.
Yeah, you get it though. You were there.
I've done my fair share of crying.
You have, but to be fair, it has been a pretty stressful week. But you weren't alone. Well, I fear I may have taken up enough of your time. Your schedule seems awfully packed.
She, at the "you aren't alone," he starts to say that, and she is gonna reach up and give him a hug. A big fucking snotty ass hug.
Oh, this is nice. This might make you sicker, so I'm sorry about that.
It's okay, it's horrible.
By the way, that reminds me, how do we blow our nose? This is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a big nose.
Illyria looks around. I'm gonna say something gross, but it's part of our biology. You need like an entire towel. It's bad.
Oh, well,
It's bad.
he looks at his gaudy tie. People won't notice if I use it. You see, Illyria, it's important to think ahead.
Illyria's great. Oh God, no.
Oh God, yes. Stands up. And he dusts himself off and then he's like, oh, before I go, he reaches into his jacket and pulls out something and then lightly sets it on the bed. It is a small music box of an insect look. It's like got little cockroaches holding up this box that's actually kind of a coffin. It's pretty uncomfy to look at, and he
Pretty
just smiles.
macabre.
Yeah, he just smiles, and that's for you. Music box seems to help a lot of people, so I thought you should have one too.
She nods along, holds it close, and as he leaves, she begins to play it.
You go to play it, and where was that thing I uploaded? Ah, here it is. You open it, and Zenith spins around. I wanted to make sure you heard the applause. You did miss them after all. Taka, come on in here, kid.
you say that and someone is rushing past you, just encountering in the hall. He's just like, "God, what? Yo, shit!" He kind of like moves up. Oh fuck, you're awake. Yo.
Yep.
He kind of like scoots right up on the edge of the bed. Yo, okay, cool, awesome. I was just sitting around all the time. Finally, jeez, perfect timing though. He kind of looks at you. Oh shit! Did he make you cry again?
I think everything makes me cry these days.
Oh damn, that sucks.
Thank you for watching over me.
I mean, yeah, sure. I got nothing else to do. I'm homeless and don't have a job. But I'll fix that up. It'll be easy. Just gotta get on it, you know.
I'm sorry I'm sorry I couldn't get you flowers.
I mean, I got you some. It's cool. He kind of
Oh.
pulls, and you see he's got a bag and stuff next to him. As you look, he's kind of sees and like, since I was able to actually leave that place, I was starting to run out of supplies, but well, I got more. He kind of stops and smiles a bit, and then you notice for the first time he pulls up those strawberry sugar wafers again, and you look, and again he gives you this doofy dumb smile, and along with those wafers, he also deposits a rose for you.
Oh.
Just for
Oh, that's great.
After all, I
Holy
wanted you to
shit.
try these things, and like I was running low, but come on, I can share these. These are my life right now, you know. So like, yeah.
Love to. Yeah, I'd love to.
He kind of leans over you. You take one out, take a bite, but it's all just kind of mush in your mouth since you're still sick right now. But he does take that opportunity to reach over, and he puts the spider lily right inside of your hair. And as you come back, he stands there. Nice. Awesome. Cool. Think I'm gonna change how I view that flower now. Whenever I see a spider lily, probably just gonna think about you now. He says that with no sense of sentimentality per se, just pure fact.
Oh. She's tearing up again and just starts to munch on one of the fucking sugar wafers.
Damn, still, I thought that'd make you not cry.
Oh,
Jeez. He kind of scratches the back of his head. All right, well, cry as much as you want. That's fine. He kind of just sits down and starts eating sugar wafers with you.
She sits here and just continues eating them. Occasionally, like she does that thing where you like pull it back together for a second and then immediately relapses.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, okay. He just kind of comments like that and eats. He doesn't really talk too much. You feel that relaxed nature of him chatting. Occasionally, he'll answer some questions you have. He tells you that, well, he catches you up that, yeah, Teach and Beatrice will want to stop by a bit too. Yeah. Damn, I don't even. Fuck it. I'll let someone else talk about that. You're crying a lot right now. I don't want to deal with that.
Illyria quietly nods along, like, fair.
Besides, you look like you're about to pass out again. Jeez.
I can make some medicine. I'll be good.
Nope.
Just tries to like get up out of the bed.
I think your grand would kill me if I let you get out of bed.
She probably would.
All right. He kind of sits a bit, and generally, like, he doesn't make a quick farewell. He actually just sticks around silently. Small
Yay!
topics, as you continue to chat until finally it's time for you to head to bed again. And then he makes his farewell as you embrace a nice rest again. And it occurs like this where you sleep, you rest, your fever still going strong throughout these next couple of days. Yet, even though your fever is strong and you're trapped in bed, it's not the silent return that you were expecting. After all, you have many visitors. Coming back, only really a day later, you finally get another visitor. And she kind of stumbles into the room, holding stuff in her arms, and then kind of looks at you. Well, now, hello, how you doing? Oh, I should stand over here.
Zenith, that fucker.
Oh, yeah. Oof. She kind of stops a bit.
It was.
What did he do? Did he
it
do
was-
that? I thought that was just exhaustion. You tell me he made you sick?
It was sweet at first. Now I'm just mad.
She kind of like stops a bit, and you notice that she still has her gun. And she's just like, ooh, I'm gonna teach that boy a lesson if I can find him.
She kind of stops a bit, finishes chewing on her flower a bit. Nope. These are happy hours. She stops and looks over at you. How
I
you doing?
didn't expect to see you so soon.
Yeah. Well, you've been out. You were out for a little bit afterwards too. It's been about 3 days now since everything ended.
Oh my god. How is everyone? How are you? Where were you? What?
She stops a bit. Well, I got to say my goodbye to Horace. And I can tell you quite frankly, I do miss him. I bawled like an idiot for a few days, but well, I guess going back to this now, I'm just happy I can remember. I got squeezed in as many fond memories as I could, and even the fake ones I relish in. Feeling pretty happy now, though. I'm gonna be trying to place up enough for a new shop. The hard part too was saying goodbye to the old one, but I already did that once. Honestly, it wasn't too hard to do it again after the immediate shock. So, good old Beatrice is gonna try to find herself a new shop to run. Do my best at it. She kind of stops a bit. I have received some generous assistance from some shady sources. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? Probably not. You're sick in bed.
Illyria beams and blinks. I'm so happy.
She stops
Is
a
it-
bit too.
Is it here in town?
She stops. Yes, it is. She holds herself there and smiles. In fact, Miss Beatrice Alvier will be opening up another Alvier General Store right on the front of the university, central part of town.
Main Street, huh?
Main Street? We were back in we were the fringe of Main Street, the far corners off a few roads, but now Miss Alvier is moving up in the world.
She smiles. I'm so happy.
I'm happy too. I'm happy you're doing good. She kind of stops. Well, I'm happy you're doing okay. I'm happy you're happy, but I'll also be very happy once you feel better. She kind of stops a bit, shuffling a little. You said you don't drink, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Well, I thought about that. I was. She kind of shifts her head to the side a bit, and she kind of moves. Well, she raises up a bottle and 2 glasses in her hand.
Oh.
This is non-alcoholic.
Oh my god!
I thought I wanted to give you something made by me. So, well, I don't know if it's wise to drink it now, but hold it off, and this is a delayed gift. I'll let you see it, but you have to come visit me to get it. All right?
Of course.
She kind of moves to the side, blushing a little bit. Thank you. Horace wanted me to let you know that he's very proud of you and excited to see us be friends on from the sky, I guess. And I'm well, she kind of. I'm really happy to get to know you too. So, well, my friend Illyria, I'm looking forward to get better. We'll have a big party. I'll invite over Taka too, and we'll see what happens. She stops a little bit.
Illyria, like, kinda, after seeing that, the fucking waterworks begin again, and then the fever kicks in, and she actually slumps back in the bed and mumbles something. Or it's something that is probably like a surface level thought to her, but she enunciates it extremely clearly. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I have someone out there. And then she trails off.
Oh, darling, you okay there? I'm grateful. Illyria? She kind of looks at you, trying off. Oh, hang on. She kind of like She pulls her hat down and blocks her face and kind of bumps against the bed and reaches her hand out a little bit. She kind of grasps on your shoulder, then moves her hand up and feels your fever. Oh, heavens. Oh, no. Miss Morales. Miss Morales, I think she's really bad. She stumbles off, the bee buzzing across the Testudo clinic, seeking help for your continuing to worsen condition. And the rest of that night's kind of a haze.
Yeah, no, she doesn't remember anything after that.
Yeah. As, again, you shift off. And wonder if there's a theme with the loading screens. You end up, another couple of days pass, and you finally start to feel yourself sitting straight. Probably one day left here, and a little late, but understandable for a busy woman like herself. You receive another visitor. After a few days of silence, it'll give you time to think. And, stumbling back in, she kind of moves on inside with a slow, steady step. Hey. She kind of knocks on the changing room door.
Hey, come on in.
Cool. She kind of steps up. Oh, I'd love to give you a big hug, but obviously I can't, so...
It's okay
that
now.
for
I was really sick the last few days. Now I'm mostly just bored.
Aw. Damn. Are they gonna let you out soon?
I hope so. Most of it's passed, I think. Throat's still a little scrungly, but...
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. She kind of looks at you a little bit. Yeah. A lot of crazy stuff has happened, obviously. I'm glad you're feeling better, though.
Yeah. Better than when I went in.
He steps, and then a bit of a silence falls over the room, and you... It's such a strange thing. There's an absence. It's so weird. You feel something missing. And you think it clicks with you. You realize a connection there. You threw away that mask.
Yep.
And then you got to know this new teach while you're in there. And now with that connection, that link gone, Teach talks again. She says these things to you, and you were so used to feeling these extra parts, these extra little connections. They had helped explain things to you. And now, on the other end, it feels very strange, because it feels like, again, that wall's popped up again. It's a little disconcerting, I guess. But she still speaks up regardless. Well, I'm happy to know you'll be doing okay.
Illyria almost clutches her chest as if, like, shivering again, as if the fever came back.
Mm-hmm. You okay?
Yeah, I'm, sorry. Just feeling a bit of, I don't know what to call this pain, really.
Oh. Can you describe it?
It's, similar to when I, left that place, kinda.
Mm-hmm.
Like I cut a bond. It was important for everybody involved, but it still hurts to lose it.
Mm.
But it was necessary, so... Doesn't stop it hurting, though.
She kind of... Yeah. I think I can get that. Hey, I'm sorry then if I... He kind of thinks a bit. I'm not sorry per se. I guess I more just mean, I wish I could have noticed a bit earlier. Not in regards to anything else. I think there are some parts that I couldn't see through. I'm bad at seeing my own mask, and hell, if I can't do that, it's hard for me to see others, you know? But, I think I get it now. I'm very proud of you, you know? I've got a...
She reaches up and touches her face, which, well, doesn't have a mask on it right now. She's clear, at least for the moment. Horace set it back in the dream, and there's a very pragmatic part of this. We don't wear masks for ourselves, so we wear them for others. In a literal sense, obviously, duh, no brainer. But, I guess in another sense, I think I wore that mask not to comfort myself, but so that I, wouldn't disappoint the people that, mattered to me.
She kind of, yeah. Hearing that just kind of makes me realize that I can't be a teacher to you.
Illyria raises her hand. I never said anything about that.
She kind of stops a bit. No,
Yeah,
I think...
The core lesson I took away from all this, the one that kept me going through the absolute darkest times is, well, something's broken down. That doesn't mean it can't be replaced with something better. So, I'm not the same student you taught those many years ago. I don't know what we are now. But, who's to say it can't be better than what we were before? Teacher?
Kind of looks at that. No, exactly. She kind of looks at you. Hey, maybe I should just be clear. I've got a lot going on in my head right now, but I don't feel sad about this. More confused. I'm treading new ground, but I fully intend to tread that new ground. I'm afraid of it. I'm very afraid of it, she kind of says. It feels like I'm slipping back to old shoes that don't fit quite right anymore. But, she kind of stops and moves up. It's comforting. I don't want to be your teacher.
Illyria smiles. Then you don't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need a teacher right now.
No, I don't think you do. I think you're ready for the final exam. She steps up, and in that moment, you see her lift something else, handing it over to you. A book the color of pomegranates with a gold star engraved on it. She looks at you. I think it's time for you to do a little self-study. I think the one who's going to be teaching you everything you need to know is yourself. And I'd love to compare notes later.
She starts to tear up again. Of course. As maybe his friends this time.
Yeah, I really like that. You take that journal from her hands and look. As you see her kind of, again, smile, you think you can feel that pain anyways, but you sense something else with it too. The sensations you could feel with that gift given to you by Zenith were not ones that were complete. There's a lot of pain, so much pain, but it was incomplete because at the end of the day, there's a lot of light there too, and you can see that now. In fact, you kind of look at Teach. You see her and you think, and, well, you think to a certain degree. You can even see a bit of her future too, and you feel like you're excited for that. As
Aww.
she smiles, lets go of the book, and I'm gonna do my best too. So, yeah, do what you gotta do. We're gonna be opening up classes again. It's gonna get really busy. I'm looking forward to
seeing what Illyria gets up to in the future. Take your time, too. She kind of nods her head. I believe that you'll be able to find whatever path you want to find. I don't just believe it. I know it. She kind of taps her head a bit. I'm a very good judge of character.
No.
She kind of sits there a bit. So, good luck. She kind of kicks her feet a bit there for a moment and is like, oh man. She kind of wipes away some tears that are forming in her eyes too. Oh, this is a lot harder than I thought.
Illyria's just clutching the book and smiling. You know, I always did wonder what would have happened if I'd walked away with you that day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need to know anymore. She clutches the book close to herself. Those heavy regrets didn't suit me much anyway.
She kind of turns and gives you that same kind of pained smile she gave you earlier. Yeah, I don't care to think about that either. I guess this result maybe is the best. I think you've come out even stronger than if you would have followed me that day. I know I have. Okay, she stands up again. All right. Oh, she passes something over to you. It's a little note. I was going to put this inside of the book, but I didn't know if you're going to read it immediately, so surprises suck. Who cares? It's a little surprise. It gives you something. That's it's a memorial. It's something I visited a few times before all this happened, but remembrance to those who died in that incident. Noble District's kind of a wreck. It was already out the door before it got left behind, but, well, Horace thought you'd feel bad if you didn't get a chance to say goodbye, so he said that maybe stopping by there would give you some closure.
She nods.
And she gets up. Hey, let's talk later. I got a lot to think about.
Yeah, it's a promise.
Mm-hmm. It's a promise. She steps forward, and Martha Teach once more heads away, moving a bit far. You would talk again, though. After that occasion, she would once again, temporarily, step out of your life. And with that, you took some time drawing your thoughts, writing down the things that you, well, whatever came to the mind. Both journaling yet also planning. You started to piece together almost your life on the page, writing a book during your doldrum instead of just reading them. You continue on this text, making something for you to help you. And at a certain point, you continued laying in bed for at least another day, writing for the decent amount of time of it. But eventually, your writing had come to an end, at least temporarily halted. For in the end, there was one thing left to do. One bit of closure you needed. And you left, moving out, honestly, without getting anyone's attention. You left a note, you made them sure, but you did not wait for a guard or anything like that. You moved forward with the confidence of yourself. Maybe a little brazenly, but you, honestly, at this point, you probably deserve a little brazen action. And you're going to need to get good at doing it, because there's a lot more of that to come. So with those thoughts in mind, you head out. You go to that district. It's a strange mimicry of what you once saw in there. So much had changed, even amongst before it started to fall apart. Yet the general shape, the roads remained the same. You moved past, and you stopped maybe in one building. The first one you came to was a taco shop. and you notice that it was so drastically different, and at a certain point, your decision to run around in remembrance, it kind of fell to the wayside, because there's only one bit of remembrance that really stood upon the rest. As you made your way past, moving past Taka's shop, you head to the very center of that overgrown center parkway. Way more trees than before. Moss growing along the buildings, vines all around, some destruction. The upkeep on this place has been awful. You imagine it started to go downhill even before the official abandonment. People like Taka and Beatrice mostly held out as they could, long beyond when the nobles left to disperse around the city.
She walks in and like sucks in the air. The seasons are different from what she remembers too. It's almost like a sting. She quietly walks along, looks at the park, sees shadows or shades of herself here, burying bodies. God, so morbid. Smiles, thinks about someone running along the top of these benches. Keeps walking and looks at all those discarded cigarettes. Almost feels a distaste growing in her throat, but keeps going. Place she always knew she'd wind up.
Find yourself walking up. You almost get a brief vision of the clubhouse that was once constructed here, but eventually torn down in exchange for a monument. After all, no nobles really coming by for any sort of activities there. The best they could do was do something in remembrance, and what a scene, what a sight. A monument, even now, still somewhat depressing despite the age. And you notice that already up there an offering has been placed. Perhaps sometimes recently someone stopped by, maybe Beatrice, there's some flowers, maybe Taka too. An offering given to those who had slipped between the cracks of the city. A tragedy so long ago, and in a time like this, a tragedy that, well, no one really cares to remember. You notice a little tiny plush sitting up next to that too.
She walks up, individual footfalls clacking around this empty district. She's gonna look down on the inscription.
There is a brief word of mourning for those who had died, and then a list of names. A very, very small list of names. For after all, when the Testado came through, their methods, although great at dealing with the plague, accounting for people was not something they concerned themselves of. So many were missing or unrecorded. So many people forgotten. And on this list, you drift past, you look through these names emblazoned on the walls, to the left, to the right, upon the main monument. You find no mention of a Nadir. You find no mention of a Heather. But you know they both existed.
She slowly walks up, lifts the bouquet that she got from Taka. She's going to put it down with the others.
You place it down.
She's gonna reflect on Horus.
You reflect on Horus, thinking of him, his nature, what he had said, what he had hoped for. And on the other side of this, you might feel some weight, perhaps. The weight of that understanding of hoping that, yeah, maybe hopefully this does work out. Hopefully this is good for him. Though, even with that, you have some case of confidence. You are sensitive. You've felt these things before. If there's anywhere he would be, Skies of Windrose, certainly a good place for him. Hundreds of different noble districts. You think. No, you don't really have to think. You know, from what they had said, he was proud. And above it all, he didn't want you to feel bad about it. you kind of sit there looking at these lit candles as suddenly you hear steps racing at an immense speed across the stone as someone darts up very, very quickly, huffing on breath as they run.
Hey!
she turns around. Hi, sorry, I didn't expect to see someone here.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh boy, are you Illyria?
Yeah, Illyria Morales.
Oh, okay, good. So I have a delivery for you.
What? She, dabs away at her eyes. What? Something Mom said? She's trying to compose herself and is not doing a good job.
I don't know, honestly. This one just kind of showed up, and then the boss was like, "Oh, you just entered the cities. You should deliver this message or whatever." I don't know. But yeah. Here, she pops open her little bag and then shuffles her hand inside and pulls out a little letter and hands it to you.
She quietly takes the letter and opens it. Thank you.
No problem. But I got, well, since I'm apparently the mail person for the city now, I gotta go. Because apparently nobody's got mail for 2 months. Oh, boy.
Thank you, doing real service.
Thank you. And she starts off.
Holy shit.
Oh.
Illyria's gonna take a few steps back.
Yeah,
Sit down.
starts running off now immediately. Kind of darting through the trees, and then you kind of sit there, and you look at a letter. It's put to you. It's composed to Illyria. No last name, just Illyria. It starts as simple as you pull out the first page of this letter. In kind of chicken scrawl, you see to Illyria. I lived! I bet you thought I disappeared, huh? Or maybe not. If the others told you and ruined my prank, I'll be real mad.
She looks at it, and then, her face is drawn into a straight line.
After you kicked Zenith's dumbass, the last little bits of nonsense holding me there broke like a priceless vase being shoved off a table. I have to admit, it felt real good seeing the whole thing crumble to dust. I honestly hated that place. Sorry if you liked it a little, but the whole mess was kind of garbage if we're being real, so...
Illyria's going to stop reading the piece of paper for a second, and she's going to look around very hard for someone.
No one there. It's just a piece of paper. She's not waiting in the bush.
She looks back down. Mm-hmm.
And you continue off of this next line. If I didn't meet you, I would have just called the whole thing a wash. But I did meet you, and now I get to be a real cool legend. I learned what that word meant, by the way. I met someone nice, and they explained the whole concept. I'm basically like a spirit god now, which is pretty awesome.
Illyria is just blinking slowly. She feels so many emotions at once. The only one that occurs to her in this moment is, shockingly, the same that occurred to her during a more horrifying moment.
You continue reading. The page itself, you actually finished in that page. There's a lot of pages in here. Her writing is pretty terrible, but she writes it really tall so that you can still see. You really got knocked out cold, though. I was so mad when I couldn't talk to you before because you just wouldn't eat food or take naps. You're like an adorable little wind-up mouse running around in circles without breaks, and I guess the clockwork stopped right after nobody needed your help anymore. You're ridiculous, you know that? I think that's why it was so easy for me to fall in love with you.
You were just the perfect fit for all those strange, empty feelings left inside of me, and it all just fell into the place the moment I started being around you.
Illyria full-on spit takes.
You do that, the page ends, and another page begins, and your eyes again peel to the page itself. The next line catches you off guard, actually, as you keep reading.
I guess all those feelings are why I feel so bad. A little bit of a secret. You know those doors that were dragging people in? Those were mine. I came up with the idea and managed to pitch it to the other two. Zenith loved the idea of a lure, so he bit into the bait, and Horace wasn't really Horace yet, but it was me who sent that door that tried to grab you, and the ones that grabbed everyone else. Okay, it's a kind of weird thing to say I sent it. After all, I was still Heather around that time. But no matter how much I try to separate me and her, we're still kind of built off of a similar core, you know? The orchestra that existed at that point is just about the same as the one who is writing this letter. I was so desperately looking for a champion. I really wanted to end that delusion at all costs, and nothing inside couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. You weren't the first doctor that was pulled in, as I think you discovered, but I honestly didn't know much about you at all when you first came through. Just that you refused the door and that your name ended in Testido, the same doctors that defeated the plague the first time. I felt hope that maybe my plan had finally come to fruition, and I would say set free and be given rest. And that page ends, another page right after that. You exceeded all of that, though. You were more than a Testido, and you're more than a champion. You're my friend, you're my support, you're my inspiration. And not just for me, I can tell you for sure that I've been playing a lot more happy songs for Teach, Beatrice, and Taka recently. You're even that for Horace and Zenith, too. Still, though, I can't help feeling guilty for the bad things that happened to you and everyone else, too. I'd love to blame Zenith for everything. That'd be super easy, but you told me not to do that, kind of. You told us all not to do that. In the end, we were all in our own way slaves to that place. I dragged you in and watched you go through so much. I don't know if a person who did that what I did really deserves to be set free, but I think I know what you'd say, so thank you again. A stop. Another page. But I don't feel like you have to take everything in stride, right? You know? When we talked in the closet, I was being serious. I may have been too cowardly to tell you the truth until now, but I never lied. I care a huge lot about you, and I don't want to see you build some sort of complex around all this. That'd make me super mad. You deserve to make your new mask and wear it with pride, just like I'm doing with the mask you helped me make. Choose what parts of yourself you want to wear and go forward with those. Choose who you love and choose who you forgive. I hope I get to be part of both of those categories myself.
Illyria goes from like heartbroken a lot to having a completely static expression.
Yeah. That's the end of that page. You pull out another one. So it may seem a little cruel, but I'm not going to regret what I did. We'd be back at square one if I did. If you don't want to forgive me, I'll nod my head and accept that as my punishment. But if you do, then hell yeah! But either way, I think I'll be staying in Indigo for a while, so don't feel like you gotta rush to let me know. I've been having some trouble sticking around in a spiritual sense. Being a legend is hard. I honestly wanted to write this letter now, just kind of in case I lost the ability to talk and write again. So if this is all coming off a bit fractured and weird, well, put up with it because I'm doing my best. So, again, though, don't rush yourself on my behalf. I'm not super afraid with disappearing for good. I have a plan for that. You see, the delusion's gone, and I can finally see what Horace was talking about when we both chatted that night. City is hurt real bad, you know. Illusion was like scabbing, and now that it's torn off, I can see how fresh the wound still is. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I know a few of them, and I think I know what they'd say. They'd say something like, this wound needs to be cleaned and sanitized, stat, or else it'll get infected, or something like that. I don't know anything about cleaning or sanitizing wounds, though, so I can't really help on that front. But I also know a really good pharmacist. I think she'd prescribe something for the pain first. So I think I'm going to do the same. This city needs a lot of hope, and who else to provide it than a legend born out of one of individual hope?
If that sounds cool, it's not. Hope by its very nature is transient, and it goes away after a result is reached. I'm not gonna solve shit, and I don't plan to. But, I sure hope I can make everyone feel better. I'll be Hope's harpsichord for the city of Indigo, and I'll play songs that'll reach into the hearts of others and maybe get them to a place where they don't need it anymore. Soon enough, the whole city will be listening in and playing my tune. A city of wickless worshippers. In the end, I guess I ended up making something like the Delusion after all. Aren't I just the baddest legend on the block? The city is looking pretty messed up too, Illyria, so I have a strong feeling I'll be able to stick around and siphon them for a while. It'll be super easy. But I'm sure I won't be able to do it forever. Broken things may be fixed, right? The letter ends. Love ya, and good luck out there. Hope to see you soon. From Orchid, the harpsichord of hope. And in that moment, you're about to process, and then you see a PS. PS. If this new messenger lady is all she's cracked up to be, I demanded that this letter get to you just as the sun sets. So if that's happening, and if I'm still alive, then keep your ears peeled. I've been working really, really, really hard on my debut song. I think you're gonna like it. I call it A Song for the Remembered. And you stop, your ears opening up again. You hold yourself there as you process that, all of that going into your brain at once. You, similarly though, feel yourself pulling out for every time orchestra mentions her tunes, and perhaps there's just those that are sensitive, those that are aware, they might occasionally hear music drifting off from all around them. That song, A Song for the Remembered, does play out almost perfectly on tune.
You. Oh. Ow. Yo. Holy shit. Oh my fucking god. Illyria lets the tune wash over her. She sits down in absolutely no rush. Because yeah, the city's hurting. There's no rush to get to any of this. She can take all the time she needs to heal. She knows whatever it's worth, somebody's working with her now. So, instead of standing up to run off anywhere, she instead sits down on the edge of this monument and looks up at that brilliant shifting sky. The echo of 1,000 noble districts.
And as that song plays out across this barren district, the fog begins to roll in from the river. That fog chokes the shoreline like a wall, the walls of an amphitheater that resonate a spectral song across the city, a serenade for those left behind by the Forgotten of Indigo.
Oh my god! Holy shit! That's the end, ain't it?
That's the end. Fin. Conclusion.
Continued and Forgotten Indigo.
Yep.
Oh,
Thank you, Jay, for playing. Thank you, J-Man, for also playing and recording. Thank you, Will, for playing. Mass, thank you for watching and helping, too.
And thank you, Christian, for putting this all together.
Yeah! Holy shit, yeah! I think that was the single hardest I have ever been hit by anything in a game. Oh. Yo, that was incredible. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty spicy slam dunk at the end there, Christian. I wasn't even aware of that.
Oh,
Oh
I'm glad,
my
yeah.
god. Holy shit. You can stop the recording. The audience doesn't need to know how hard I'm crying. It's